were married on May 11th, 2013. I was just so excited. I couldn't wait to be husband and wife. We had been long distance for over a year, and we were finally going to live together. We were finally going to fully share our lives together and just be united as one. You know, not just me, but everyone he met, he wanted to treat like Christ would, but particularly his spouse. He wanted to protect me. He wanted to be the stronghold in our faith. He was my rock. We started every morning and every night with him leading us in prayer. Shortly after the honeymoon, we took a test, and it was positive. He looked me in the eyes and he gave me the biggest smile and kiss and said, "We're going to be parents." He would give me back rubs and foot rubs, and on the nights that I felt like I couldn't cook, he would take care of both of us. There were times that I maybe wished he would read more of the baby books because I thought he wasn't preparing himself enough with that, but he knew as well as I did that he was going to figure it out. We would figure it out together. We were supposed to get maternity pictures the weekend before April 1st, but it was raining, so we decided to put it off. We were laying in bed that night together, and we were talking and saying prayers that night. I just told him that I loved him so much with my whole heart and my whole being, and that if something were to ever happen to him, how could I go on? And he put his arm around me and he told me that I'd be fine, that, I was strong. And then the last thing he did that night was, after I rolled over, he realized he had forgotten to tell Cecilia that he loved her. And so he rolled me over and kissed my belly and said, "I love you, baby girl." The morning of April 1st, Nate was going to take me to school. We were supposed to leave at 7:15 a.m. and he had gone for his walk that morning. I believe he set his alarm for about 5 a.m. so he should have been back around 6. When I rolled over, the clock said 7:11. And we were throwing on a bathrobe, and then I began to walk his route. I was on the phone with my parents when I turned the first corner and saw the yellow caution tape, and there were sirens everywhere. And I ran up to the cops, and there were 2 of them standing by the crime scene tape, and I told them, "I can't find my husband." They took me across the street. The first thing I did after I got out was I knelt down in the gravel. I would find a few days later that my knees had been all cut up, but I didn't care. In those moments, I just prayed the Hail Mary and the Our Father and whatever prayer that I could grasp. No one still would tell me what was going on, but that a victim had been shot. My parents arrived shortly after and took me in their car to the hospital.
Still developing story tonight. A 24-year-old married man and soon-to-be father was gunned down early Tuesday while walking not far from his home.
His wife, Jennifer, was expecting their first child at the time of the crime. Their daughter, Cecilia, was born 3 weeks later.
And we turn now to the other big story of the day, as a 16-year-old boy is behind bars in connection to Nathan Trapuzzano's murder.
The judge asked Adams, "Do you have any appreciation for what you did?" He said, "No, I do not."
They had told me when we had the trial that I would be able to offer a statement regarding how the effects of April 1st had changed my life. The verse I meditated on so much in those days was to forgive those who trespass against us. And I felt, how could I pray these words if I do not believe them, if I do not full-heartedly act upon them? And I began to look towards the divine mercy, to read some of Sister Faustina's writings and trust that I could find it in my heart and soul to give mercy to others as well. And there was no defining moment, no light that turned on that told me this is the moment I forgive him, but Just over time, I was able to say it to myself. I was able to say it in prayer, and then I was able to say it out loud. I wanted to go last because I wanted the last thing he heard to be about forgiveness. That I wanted him, for maybe the first time in his life, to know that God loved him and that God will always forgive. And to demonstrate that, I wanted to offer my forgiveness as well. We cannot be certain exactly what was going through Nathan's mind in the last moments of his life. But as his wife, his soulmate, his beloved, I have little doubt that as his soul drew near to his particular judgment, Nathan forgave his murderer. That was the kind of man that I knew him to be. And while 55 years will never give us back Nathan, forgiveness is what I offer Simeon today.